What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be on the Houston Rockets, and we're going to be talking about how they struck gold in the NBA draft, and we're going to jump right into the video. So in the 2022 NBA draft, the Houston Rockets had 3 first-round picks. They had the number 3 overall pick, which was Jabari Smith. They had the 17th overall pick, which was Tari Eason, and they had the 29th overall pick, which is Tari Washington. And I think with all of these draft selections, the Houston Rockets did a great job, and they got exactly what they needed. Now, when I say they struck gold, and I like Tari Washington a lot, but I'm particularly talking about Jabari Smith and Tari Eason. After watching these two guys in college and in the summer league and the couple of preseason games that we've had so far, I feel like they have a lot of potential individually, but the potential that they have on the court together is even scarier in my opinion. So the first thing we're going to do is go over both of their games individually, and we're going to start with Jabari Smith. So first of all, I love the selection of Jabari Smith for the Houston Rockets, and even though he was selected with that number 3 pick, I feel like he was still one of the biggest steals in the draft just because he has such a high impact on the game of basketball. And secondly, I think he's going to fit like a glove with the Houston Rockets and the personnel that they have. They have a bunch of guys that can play with the basketball in their hands, and Jabari Smith is the type of guy that can capitalize off moving without the basketball, and he can stretch the floor well for guys like Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., and even Alperen Sengun. So I love that about Jabari Smith, and he has so much potential. He has so much upside on the offensive side of the ball, and I think right now coming into the NBA, I think he's already going to be a little bit NBA ready offensively just because of the way that he can shoot the 3-point shot and the way that he can shoot the basketball. Standing at 6'10" with the elite length that he has is pretty impressive, and I gotta say that is very rare. He can shoot from just about anywhere from the court, from the wings, top of the key, the corners. He can knock down that tray ball from anywhere, and what makes him so special is his ability to move without the basketball and his ability to run off screens, like off of flare screens, pin downs. He can come off that screen, catch the ball, turn, and shoot it so quickly. And that's so, when you have a guy that's 6'10", that's so rare. We don't really see that. And on top of that, when he's rising up for his jump shot, his release point is so high, and it makes it so hard to contest his jumper. So, his shooting ability is ridiculous. And also in college, in the summer league, in the preseason, he flashes this ability to be able to put the ball on the floor and get to his spot. When he gets to that mid-range spot and pull up for that jump shot, it is uncontestable. And you know, people compare his offensive upside to guys like Paul George and Kevin Durant. So even if Tari Eason doesn't reach that level offensively, I think he's still going to have a long, steady, and consistent career on the offensive side of the ball. So he's pretty solid on the offensive side of the ball, and he has a lot of upside when it comes to that area. But where I really love Jabari Smith at is on the defensive side of the ball, and I think this is another reason why this makes this a great pickup for the Houston Rockets, because they definitely needed some more versatile defenders, and Jabari Smith gives you that. Now, he stands at 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan, and when I tell you those physical features, you probably think he's down there protecting the rim. Now, not only can he do that, he can rotate, come down, and he can stop guys at the rim, but he's a great perimeter defender. He has a great defensive stance, a great technique. He's very athletic, and he has the lateral quickness to lock up smaller players. So whenever you can draft a player like that and knock down the 3 ball like Jabari Smith, it is a great pickup. So I think one day in this league, and it's going to be very soon, Jabari Smith is going to be able to confidently say that he can guard 1 through 5, and we know how valuable that is in today's NBA. So I love Jabari Smith as a pickup, and I think he's one of the reasons why the Houston Rockets struck gold in this year's NBA draft. So we talked about Jabari Smith, and now we're going to talk about his teammate Tari Eason. Tari Eason is one of my favorite players from this year's NBA draft, and I thought it was no way he was falling outside of the top 10. And then boom, he falls all the way to 17 to the Houston Rockets. Another reason why I think these guys really struck that gold in this year's NBA draft, because I think Tari Eason, he has the potential to go down as one of the biggest steals in NBA draft history just off his defensive potential alone. And one thing that stands out to me when it comes to Tari Eason is his great physical features. He has the perfect body type to be a lockdown defender in the NBA. He stands at 6'8", 216 pounds, and he has a 7'2" wingspan, and he was measured for the biggest hands in the NBA. So who's that reminding you of? That's reminding you of Kawhi Leonard. So Tari Eason, he has a great body for defense, and he also plays some great defense. And just like Jabari Smith, he's another versatile defender. And I would say that right now, Tari Eason, he might be a more better defender than Jabari Smith. Now, watching him in college, summer league, and the first couple of preseason games, he'd be all over the place on the defensive side of the ball. He could pick up full court, and then the next play he could be guarding a forward or a center on the low block. And what I love about him, when he's not engaged, when he's not assigned to the guy with the basketball in his hands, he's still locked in on the defensive side of the ball. So he's looking to help his teammate. He's looking to help the guy who got beat or to help the helper. And his 7'2" wingspan, it allows him to drop down or rotate under the rim and stop the dunk or get a block on the layup. So he's just an all-around fantastic defender, and he has a high energy level on that side of the ball. And offensively, I think he's very solid as well. Tari Eason, he's one of those guys that knows how to be in the right place at the right time. He's super athletic, so we love him in transition. He can run the floor, get an easy layup, get an easy dunk, and also an underrated part of his game is his ability to pass the ball. Now, I'm not saying he's a Chris Paul or Steve Nash type playmaker, but he knows how to keep the ball moving within the offense so that the basketball can find the right shot or the right layup. So I love him. I love that about him. He's not heavy. He's not fixated on keeping the ball in his hands. He keeps the ball moving. And one big question mark about Tari Eason was his jump shot. Now, I know we don't have a lot to go off right now in terms of the NBA, but from what I've seen so far, from the summer league, he knocked down so many wide open threes, and then his first preseason game, he went 1 or 2 from the three-point line. I think they were being a little bit over dramatic on his shot. It doesn't look as bad as those NBA scouts were making it seem to be. I've seen worse jump shots with guys like Sean Marion, who was a great three-point shooter in the NBA. So I think that narrative about his jump shot, I think Tari Eason, he might put that to rest. And all he has to do is shoot like 35%, 37%. If you can get that from a guy like Tari Eason that has that impact on the defensive side of the court, and he's shooting 35%, 37% from the three-point line, that is a huge win in my book. So I love both of the potential. I love the potential for both of these guys individually. Now, this is my favorite part when it comes to Tari and Bari, and I think they have the potential to be a great defensive tandem. Not a good one, not an okay one, but a great defensive tandem, because both of these guys, Tari Eason, 6'8", 7'2" wingspan, Jabari Smith, 6'10", 7'1" wingspan, and both of these guys can guard multiple positions. So I feel like when you have two guys with the tenacity that they play with on the defensive side of the ball, being able to switch onto every position, I think it's just going to lead to so many easy things in transition. And then at the end of the game, especially when it comes to like playoff series, when the referees let you play a little bit more, and I just feel like you have two players that you can throw on the opposing team's best players. That's just going to, like, off their size alone, it's just going to be hard for those players to score the basketball. And then when you factor in the skill and the technique that they have on the defensive side of the ball, the Houston Rockets are going to be able to force teams to make they're going to have teams third and fourth players beat them, because they're going to have two elite defenders on the opposing team's best two players. So that's what I think, like, it's so scary with Tari and Bari. And I think offensively, both of these guys, they fill in spots very well. They both know how to cut effectively. Jabari Smith is a marksman from from the 3-point line. And his first preseason game, he went 5 of 8 from beyond the arc. So you love that. And Tari Eason, like I said, watching him in the preseason, watching him in the summer league, he's knocked down his wide open jump shot. So I think these two guys right here, and you got Jalen Green, you got Alperen Sengun. I think Ty Washington also has a chance to develop pretty into a pretty solid player as well. The Houston Rockets, these last 2 years, they've done a terrific job in the NBA draft. And I'm telling you, when these guys develop, or if they get some decent veteran help on their team, they're going to be a very scary ball club. But that's going to be it for this video, man. I just want to touch on how I can't wait to watch Jabari Smith and Tari Eason for these next few years. And if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.